Good morning. This is Julie Crawford, the principal at El Dorado Elementary, and this is for the YouTube video reflection on element 1.5 for HRS. So I'm just going to go through, this is our website that we are utilizing for students and for staff and for admin to go through and collect our evidence to support whether it is a lagging or a leading indicator. We have already been submitted for 1.1 and 1.2, and we're successful on that. And our next ones were 1.5 and 1.6, just because they showed a strong area for areas to prove. So the first thing on our HRS task submission was, let me go scroll down here, was just an explanation of this description and interpretation of the initial long form survey data for 1.5. So here's our long form for teachers, and I'm going to go down to 1.5. And teachers and staff have formal ways to provide input regarding the optimal functioning of the school. So we want to see things that are in purple and green. That's either agree or strongly agree. So data collections and systems are in place to collect opinion data. We had 100% agree and strongly agree. And then opinion data is collected from teachers and staff and then archived. And then I had added notes such as in our building leadership team notes, our embedded staff development notes, school accountability committee notes, and our professional development notes. Also found in One-Stop, which I'll show you guys later. And this was above that 90th percent threshold that we were holding as well. And then opinion data with teachers and staff are shared with staff. And so we had one person disagree and then one person say, I don't know. Everybody else was agree or strongly agree. And then the manner in which opinion data from teachers and staff are used is transparent, such as like a budget survey. We had almost 100% agree or strongly agree. And then our BLT team regularly provides input and feedback about our school's BLT plan. We did have 6.9% disagree with this, and that was something, even though it was underneath the 90th percentile, or not that 10th percentile, we definitely wanted to just make sure our BLT team had heard that and was better in their communication. So that's the long form for teachers. And so then, I'm going to go over the areas of strength and growth next, and then why we picked the lagging indicators. So if I come over here to our El Dorado website that we created for becoming a high reliability school, we had put this data, let's have it reload. We had put this data all together, and then we had put some raw data, so our teacher and staff, our students, and our community. And then we have evidence of growth, since these are all areas that we want to grow. And I don't know why those are not coming up. Let me just refresh. Oh, there they go. Maybe my computer is just a little slow. So while that is generating, we had a professional development day, and we spent time on an improvement plan for our HRS kind of roadmap. And I'll click into that and show you guys, but I wanted to go through kind of the overall layout of what we felt like was good evidence to prove for 1.5. And so we have, sorry, it's just real slow for some reason. Our BLT agenda, which is shared on what's called our Google Sites, our Google Links, and we have our BLT, our strategic plan as well. And then we have this thing called El Dorado One-Stop. El Dorado One-Stop is a website dedicated to everything you might need to know if you're a teacher or staff member at El Dorado. So we have staff information here. Front office, we have what's called Key Google Docs. So if I were to click on that, this is all of that transparency with our data or our opinion data and things like that. So our team norms, here's a link to that. Our professional development agenda and notes, here's a link to that. Our PD calendar, things like that. All of our staff important dates, Here's the leadership responsibilities, common acronyms, our strategic plan, our agenda, which has all of our notes and things like that so that everybody knows what we're talking about, our SAC and PTO agenda, and then site is our evaluation tool. So there's information around our site, and then transition, mental health referral form, things that maybe what students need, our MTSS links, curriculum and instruction links, and things like that. So that just is kind of a one-stop shop of potential links. So we have key Google Docs, general expectations, other things. We have our PLC at work, and that's where we have the link to our just information that we're looking at for PLC. So our PLC agenda that we're using, our PLC self-assessment that we're using, a video, and then our website as well. Other things we have just on our one-stop is major versus minor behaviors, calendar and schedules, professional development, testing, things like that, our staff resources, and this is just easy where we can just share everything in one place. So, sorry, let me get back to here. So that's our one-stop. That really helped us, helped our teachers know exactly that they could say yes, agree, or strongly agree. On here is our TLCC school report. That just is something that the state of Colorado puts out, and there's some really strong evidence that supports the visibility of data, the visibility of opinion data that our staff and teachers send to the Colorado Department of Education. This we put in as our entry plan. Myself and our assistant principal were new last year, and so this was a detailed entry plan into what that looks like. So if you scroll down, you'll see kind of a time frame, transition goals, and then when this will happen and if it's happened. And so this was our last year's plan. This was just very transparent on when it's going to happen, what's going to happen, and the why behind it. So then, just to show you guys some other things, we had this staff-generated improvement plan. We got our staff together and they worked on 1.5 and 1.6. Even though we were areas of prove on 1.5, we had an area of improve on 1.6. So we had collective agreements for our teams, and then we talked about what are admin improvements, staff improvements, or student community improvements. So what are 2 to 3 specific actions myself, meaning Julie, and Allison, meaning our assistant principal, can do to improve in this area? And so implementation could begin after Thanksgiving break, specific actions we should stop doing. So they had said address alternative options to surveys and or allow opportunities in embedded staff development to collect data potentially. And then inform students on how teachers are involved at EE. That came from our student data, open door policy. So lots of great ideas on survey collection and things like that. So for staff improvement, some of the ideas would be follow-up data collected specifically to address 1.5, so kind of doing a follow-up data on that. And then for student community, it could be like begin in January, utilize your curriculum map to write a brief monthly letter. This could help support our community in knowing what's going on. And so we went through email a parent survey to teachers so we can help create buy-in for the parent community to create the survey. So just some improvement ideas that we had done. And so that's 1.5. And then our strategic plan, which I've gone over previously, but this is shared on our one-stop and shared in that Google Links and is available to all staff and goes over it. We go over it in our SAC meeting as well. So those were some of the areas that we would prove. And I'm going to go back to my submission. So I just know. So I'm just making sure, I'm just double checking to make sure I've kind of answered all of those questions on the submission piece. And then make sure, so on 1.6 we had this because we had an improvement plan on 1.6. So this was HRS survey data initial thoughts. We did this when we had some areas of improve. And so we had our staff, so admin, what are our initial thoughts? Julie and I are thinking about doing walkthroughs of classrooms to talk to students for improvement on gathering their opinions and celebrating their accomplishments. Specials teachers gave us some thoughts and ideas. Special ed gave us some thoughts and ideas. Kindergarten, first, second, and then we're kind of tackling those. But this is more towards 1.3 through 1.7. I'm sorry, 1.3 through 1.8. So this can just going through some ideas and thoughts on how next steps for that improve process. So that kind of takes us through 1.5. I know 1.5 and 1.6 are pretty similar, but I'll be doing a video or a screencast that talks about 1.6 soon. So I thank you very much and have a great rest of your day.